Good morning, welcome back to my home. Welcome to the next instalment of free home 15-minute workout. Today we're going to be looking at mobility, specifically looking at the foam roller and what we can do with it. Now, before we start, I'm going to just talk briefly about foam rolling and maybe a few myths around foam rolling. A lot of people think foam rolling, releases muscles, changes muscle makeup. It also interacts with the coverings of our muscles, the fascia, and or changes scar tissue and adhesions and things like that. But really, evidence probably doesn't support any of that, and I personally don't use foam rolling in that way. What I think, look, we don't really know in terms of evidence of how it works. There's a good article that is written and put out by someone from the Physio Network, which talks a little bit about it, but how we think it works is related to modulation of our nervous system, and that by foam rolling, you change the nervous system and give you a short-term window with less pain, which enables you to do more movement. So that's how I use it, along with using it as a tool for mobility. So I'm going to run through a couple of drills where we don't actually roll our muscles, but we use the roller for mobility. And some of you who follow my channel may have seen some of these drills before. So just keep that in mind if you're using it and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to release all my muscles off. It might not be doing that. Will it still give you some benefit? Potentially, probably. And I believe that, and I've seen patients that it has given some windows of opportunity to be able to get more movement or less pain. So we're going to go with that. Most of them we need a foam roller today, but you can do the movements without, or potentially use a Tupperware lid on carpet or a towel on tiles or floorboards. If you're watching at a later date, wonderful. If you're live with us now, wonderful. Let's get into a couple of mobility exercises and we'll go from there. So roller out in front into a hands and knees position, rest our forearms onto the roller. From here we go big breath in. As you breathe out, you want to lengthen your arms and drop back into a child's pose. And then coming back up. Now what we're looking at here is trying to get long through your arms, elevate your shoulder blades, and then get low at the bottom. So long through your shoulder blades, trying to drop down and then back up. What we should be getting, keep going for me, is some mid-back and or top of the shoulder blade areas where we should feel some either pressure or working. So we'll go a couple more here. Get long as you come out, dropping down. Now don't feel the need to push into any discomfort, just push to the point where you feel either some stiffness or that it doesn't want to move much more. We're going to do a couple more. You can alter this by dropping back a little bit more into a child's pose if you want to get a little bit more work through your lower back. I'm going to stick with reaching forward to get some mobility through the upper back and the shoulder blades. So long through the shoulder blades. You may even get a stretch down through the lats on the side and then dropping low. And let's go one more. And then back up. Now we're going to go into another one in a similar sort of position. I'm going to face forward for this one. As most of you have probably seen over some of these videos and some of my posts, I'm not a massive fan of prolonged static stretches. I do think they have a place, but I'm much more in favour of active mobility exercises, which I think work a lot better for helping us sort of get moving, especially if we're stiff from spending a lot of time in static positions like sitting. So one hand here. Hands and knees position, other hand reaches through the gap between your arm and your knee, and we're going to rotate to the side with our roll. Now, we've done this one before in one of the workouts with the slider. Focus on straight-ish arm here, and this one reaching through. Keep going for me. You should feel a stretch through the middle part of your back, maybe into the lower back or down the side of your trunk. Coming up tall every time. Focus on breathing's nice here. Don't push into pain, just more to the point where you feel some stiffness. And maybe try and look at getting that little bit further every time if you can. Now we'll we'll go 3 or 4 more, which will take us over 10. And last one. Beautiful. Let's switch sides. So roller other side, hands in each position, left hand in front, over the top through the gap, and we roll again, other way, and back up. Now I really like this exercise for thoracic or mid-back mobility. A lot of us are doing heaps of sitting at the moment, and one of the areas that sitting impacts is, tightening up some of the muscles in our back, but also reducing the movement through the joints in our back. Now, that's something that we can look to alter, and an exercise such as this is a great one to do regularly throughout the day if you find you're getting stiff for this area of your back. Go 3 more. Beautiful, let's come back up. Now, for those who joined us part of the way through, go back at some point and listen to the first little bit, which just explains my views on how foam rolling works. We're going to look at doing another one through the mid-back. So roll it down, we're going to come lying over the top of the roller. From here, and I see this one done wrong all the time, which just ends up putting pressure through our lower back. So let's look at hips down, centered, ribs have got to stay down, and we want the roller to be in between the bottom of your ribs and the neck, so in the middle of your upper back. We're going to go hands behind your head. From here, big breath in, and then as you breathe out, arch backwards. But don't let your ribs lift up like I just did then. So hold your ribs down. It's not a massive movement here, unless you're really mobile. Like I only get to there and back up. What you should feel is some stiffness through where the roller is in your mid-back. Again, focus on ribs down. You may have to hold your abdominal muscles on slightly, which is okay. And we'll do 5 or 6 in this position. From here, let's roll up 1 or 2 sort of centimeters, just a little bit, and exactly the same. So ribs down, arching back. Now, what are we doing here? We're looking to try and get some movement through different parts of our upper back. And we'll go maybe 1 more. We'll just roll back down a little bit further than we started, but not below your ribs. Hold your ribs down. And let's go 3 more. Now I do like that one, but I think the first 2 that I did, especially the rotation one, I think is probably the best one to do for your thoracic spine. Reason being is your thoracic spine or your mid-back is designed to rotate. That's the way the joints are designed. So movements that focus on rotation are probably going to be better at helping you get more movement and increase the movement rather than ones that focus on forward and back. But both will be effective if you're doing it in an active way. Yeah. What we're going to look at now is some rolling on some muscles, like I spoke about. At the start, what we're doing is not going to release any of the muscles necessarily. It's not going to break up any scar tissue, but what it will look at doing, in my view, and the view of people in the area that are doing research on it, is looking at it probably gives us a short-term pain window where we've got less pain in that area. So let's have a look. We're going to come onto our front first. We're going to look at our quads, our legs. So onto our front, start the roller at your knees. From here, we're going to army crawl our way back till we get to your hips. And then from there, army crawl your way forward. Now we'll do a couple with 2 legs, but most of you will potentially find that we want to come onto the side and do 1 leg, and maybe have done this in the past, so I'll show you in a moment. But let's get up to 10 on here. Now, breathing's nice. Try and relax with this one, and potentially one of the benefits if you're doing rolling well is some deep breathing and getting some activation of our parasympathetic nervous system with some nice, really relaxed breathing. Beautiful, we'll go one more from now. Now with this one, I wouldn't be anyone who's going past your knees. I don't see any point, if we're thinking that it helps to change nervous system activation and modulation of the nervous system, I just don't see any benefit of going over a joint or a bone where there's no muscle there. It's not going to help, and it may put pressure through the joints, so I don't think it's a good place to be putting force. Let's come onto our side. So straighten the bottom leg, bend the top leg, elbow bent, hand in front to help. From here, roll forward a fraction, so we're not directly on the side, we're kind of on the edge of the front and the side, if we sort of had a little join between the two. And you're going to walk yourself forward to the knee, and then back down. Now this sits sort of over where your lateral quad muscle sits, but there's a number of sort of muscles and parts of tissue sort of interacting with this area. All the way down to the knee if you can, and back up. Again, if you're finding that your legs are particularly sore or tight, I think based off what we spoke about before, rolling in this area can be a nice one to do potentially before doing some leg exercises at the gym, because it may give us, based off the theoretical side of what we think foam rolling does, a window where we're in less pain to achieve better movement. Let's go one more. Beautiful. From here, let's swing to the other leg. So, straight leg on the bottom, bent leg on top, and then hands help you walk your way up. And then back down. And again, we're not directly on the side, we're more on that side corner, along where the lateral or the outside quad muscle sits. Go a couple more, so nice and slow. If you go really quickly, probably it may not necessarily change things, but my view is the uncontrolled movement. One, you're not thinking as much about it, you're probably not breathing as slowly and tensing your whole body up a bit, so I don't think it's going to be as effective in my view. Alright, from here we're going to do one more, and this is where I think the roller can be really nice from a proprioceptive impact of helping us sort of center your body along here, and what I mean by that is our alignment of or the sort of our spine, awareness of our spine on here. So nice and straight, hips on the edge of the roller, head on the edge of the roller. Now from here, we're just looking to relax our body a little bit. You want to try and feel your back just having contact on the roller. You can do this one without a roller if you don't have one and just lying on the ground, but what we're looking at here is opening through the chest and then back. And again, I spoke about before, I like active stretches. So we're looking here to actively get a little bit of movement and opening through the front of our chest. Muscles that for the most of us at the moment are probably pretty tight from doing a lot of sitting. Couple more as we go, deep breaths. Try and not let your ribs lift up too much. You just try to hold your ribs down gently. Now from here, let's lower, bend your elbows and lower them down a little bit if you can. Now from here, depending on how mobile you are, and I'm not that mobile in this position, but let's try and slide our elbows up and down a little bit, keeping your hands in contact with the ground. If you do get any tingling, numbness, pins and needles in your hands, maybe stop this one and go back to the previous one. Otherwise, we'll look to do another 5 or 6 here. You may feel some of your shoulder blade muscles engaging in this position, and that's okay. And potentially a bit of a stretch through the front. And we'll go one more. Right, let's peel ourselves back up. So that's all I'm going to run through today. If you like any of those drills, feel like you want to go back through and do a couple more, please do. If you want to save it for a later date and go back again, perfect. All these videos will be available on my website and on my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for everyone who's tuning in a later date, and everyone who's come into any of the videos that I've done over the past couple of weeks. I will be looking to do more videos and more content in the future, but for the next week or so, I'm going to stop the live videos just as work's getting a bit busier with all our online classes. For those interested in online classes or online appointments, please let us know. Otherwise, stay safe, look after ourselves, and we'll touch base soon.